Welcome to
Star Wars.
Colour Me Intrigued.
Very professional. Please enjoy this episode.
Everyone's raving about Little Women. I don't know if I should see that.
I went to go see Black Christmas a couple of nights ago.
Oh yeah? Horror film.
I was about to say really good then. It wasn't really good. It was good. It was good.
Worth a watch.
I liked it.
Cool.
Um,
It's a horror film, right?
yeah, there was no need for it to be at Christmas. I'll just say that. But yeah, it was alright.
Looking
It was
for
good.
their little niche there,
Yeah.
aren't they? Anyway, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna run you down the list. Stop me when you think, what the fuck?
Right.
I'm quite actually surprised. Quite a few of these movies I've seen with you.
Oh.
Okay, so we've got Knives Out.
Wow, best of the year.
Mate,
No,
you,
I would
honestly,
agree, I would
I'll tell you
agree.
what. You scour what movies have come out this year.
God, is it that bad?
Yeah, it's bad. Right, so
Nothing
don't mean
against
that-
Knives Out.
yeah, I don't mean that in a
Just
nasty
saying.
way, but obviously Knives Out's still fairly recent. But for me, it would still come in the top.
I can
top
totally
films.
see why it was original. It was well acted,
Yeah.
well scripted. Yeah, good film.
Actually, if you look down my list, almost all of these are original movies.
Good. This
That's
is what
saying
we're
something.
lacking.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we're
Yeah.
saying, Disney.
Okay, so Knives Out,
Yes.
Joker,
Well, yeah, okay. We knew that would be on there.
Fighting with My Family, which I'm
Say
gonna
again?
presume you haven't seen. Fighting with My Family.
No, I haven't seen
No.
that. What's that?
We'll discuss.
Okay,
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
good.
Yeah.
Glad you included.
Doctor Sleep.
Oh man, I didn't see that.
Really
Is
liked
it really good?
Really liked
Someone
it.
told me you had to see many of the things before it or something.
No, just watch The Shining. If
Right.
you've watched The Shining, even if you've watched it in a prior life,
Oh, I am looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I know you said that. Okay.
go watch Doctor Sleep. Really good. Really liked it.
Ewan McGregor.
Personally, really like Ewan McGregor, and also I love The Shining. So all the callbacks in that movie were fucking immense.
Awesome. Nice.
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Don't agree.
The only reason I've said that is because it's so fucking hard to follow the end of your story.
Yeah.
So hard to follow.
Big thing to live
But
up
I
to.
watched that. I thought it was really good. I thought they handled what happened really well.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal is fucking so fucking good.
Every single
I
time.
love.
You
his-
fucking
oh
hell,
my
Nathan.
God.
He's still got a hard on right now. I just love him, okay?
He just plays a bad guy so fucking well, and
He plays anyone so well. I think we can both agree Jake Gyllenhaal is a supreme
as a
actor.
Spider-Man fan, I think Far From Home is really really good.
I was looking
And
forward
the
to
last
seeing him in this.
the
as well.
last half hour, how they deal with all the bits and bobs, I love it. And the after credit scenes are, for me, the best after credit scenes in any Marvel movie. Their after credit scenes in Far From Home are fucking immense.
I can't remember. I feel like we shouldn't ruin it though.
We'll discuss. No, fuck it. It's been out for ages, mate.
Yeah, you missed your chance, motherfuckers.
Rocket Man.
Yes!
Rocket
Of
Man.
course.
Rocket Man makes it in there.
Okay, good. Good.
Brightburn.
Brightburn. I have heard good things. I haven't seen it.
Really, really good.
Evil
Really
Superman.
like that. Yeah.
Right.
Fucking amazing.
Would watch. Okay, cool. That's
and
good. It worked out. Actually.
This last one I had to put in because I wanted to put it up to 9. So
That's not a reason. I wanted to put it up to that odd number near 10.
no, well, so my argument was if I'm going to watch 3 movies in the next week, one of them's bound to be pretty good. That's my argument.
That's okay. You're trying to
right.
round it up to 10 by
Basically,
the end of the
basically, by the end of the year, I want to have 10 movies.
You're banking a lot on these 3
I'm
though.
kind of holding out hope that Star Wars is going
Oh,
to be good
you're
enough to be in
not.
the top 10.
You are not.
That's
Please,
what I'm banking on.
if there's anyone out there doing the same thing, please do not be doing this. Banking on Star Wars to be good. I think
Anyway.
we should have stopped doing that years ago.
Anyway, so number 9 in my top movies of 2019 list,
There we go.
Detective Pikachu.
What?
It was good, mate. Did you watch it?
No, of course I didn't watch
It
it.
was honestly, it was good,
Oh, God.
mate. It was either going to be that or Frozen 2.
Oh, we
So-
must be scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Fucking hell, no. Detective Pikachu.
It's really good. Did you
No,
like-
it's not really good. It's not really. There's no way it's really
Did you like
good.
Pokemon when you were a kid?
Yes. Which is why I think that is fucking sacrilege. Oh yeah, we got
No.
some like male actor to play him.
Right, no, shut up and listen. Did you like Pokemon when you were a kid?
Yes.
You'll probably like this movie. Could you name me 5 Pokemon off the top of your head?
Yes. Squirtle,
Yeah.
Pikachu.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't say Bulbasaur for fuck's sake.
Bulbasaur, they're all in there. Charizard.
You
And
didn't even say Charmander. You just went for
straight for the evolution.
Oh, the fucking OG one.
And Scyther.
Really weird pick.
Meowth.
Fair enough. Yeah, Meowth.
The 5 we would all go for, I'm sure you can agree.
Anyway, Detective Pikachu was good. Honestly, it was good.
I don't believe that, but okay,
Watch
why
it.
was it good?
Just give it a watch. Okay,
Just a bit silly. It was
right.
so silly, I just...
Out of those 9, pick some you want to talk about, and also, do you agree on any of them?
Let's go straight in with Detective Pikachu. Go on. Why on earth is that on your list? That surely shouldn't be.
I like Pokemon. That Pokemon Go thing. They're obviously jumping on the bandwagon. Pokemon Go was a massive thing, like, what, 4 years ago now?
Yeah, okay, so I heard this. It's almost like the Pokemon in the film are like AI almost, like where they're kind of interacting with the... Or are they actually there?
What do you mean?
You know, with AI, so you can kind of have things in your environment.
Right, mate, you know that Pokemon aren't there, yeah? You know Pokemon aren't real, so how could they be there?
Okay, so what's the premise for this film?
So the premise is, every person...
Yeah.
No, that's bullshit. Okay, no, I'm just gonna... so basically, there's this detective, and he's called Pikachu. No.
He's called Ryan Reynolds in a Pikachu outfit.
So, premise. So there's this detective, he dies, his son's trying to figure out what's happened to him. He ends up running into Pikachu.
Oh, of course.
No, but there's a reason he's run into Pikachu. Pikachu is his dad's partner. In the world that this guy's dad lives in, Pokemon roam free.
And they soul bond with some people.
No, don't be stupid.
They marry some people.
Shut up.
Why did you say partner?
No, partner as in, you know, like...
That was detective partner.
Yeah, detective partner. They're partner detectives.
So in this world, the Pikachu are just roaming around like
no, not the
normal people.
Pikachu. The Pokemon are able to go around and just be... They're allowed to have jobs. They're allowed to do whatever they want.
Okay.
I think Mr. Mime is a traffic controller.
Oh yeah.
Shut you. Such a good. Anyway, there's like the story's alright. It's not too stupid. It's it's pretty good. And you get to see so many Pokemon in different environments. I thought it was quite good.
Okay. I'm not sold at all, but I did hear someone say that it's. I guess it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it kind of goes in directions you didn't expect it to. Or something.
You need to have You need to at least like Pokemon to go watch the movie.
Why not? This is the thing, though. Why not make a Pokemon film and just make it like
They've
this
already
big
done that, mate.
thing? Like no, like a modern day.
Hold up 2 sec. They've already done that, mate.
They literally could just do the big announcement of we're getting Ash in, like do exactly how they did it 20 years ago.
But you're slating Disney for doing that, and now you're saying that Pokemon need to do it.
But I don't know why they would try something that's so completely not what you would associate with that franchise at all.
But that's what you're saying that you want Disney to do.
No.
No. Let's discuss a different film.
I'm just surprised. That you would say that that's in the top 10. It also makes me think maybe I should give it a watch. So I'll give it a watch and then I'll come back.
Right, there's 2 things you need to do. A, give it a watch.
Yeah.
Because it's actually alright.
Right.
B, you need to look at what fucking films came out this year. Because there are some fucking boring fucking films.
Can I just say one that you didn't put on either list? I'm surprised that. I thought you'd have put Bohemian Rhapsody on either one of these.
Nah.
I am quite glad you didn't, because I think we both have our reservations with that film. And I'm glad Rocket Man is on there for your favourites.
Rocket Man was really good.
I think that one, it put it to shame in so many ways, actually.
Rocket Man for me, even though...
Bohemian Rhapsody to shame.
Rocket Man for me, even though not an Elton John fan.
Yeah.
I came out of that as an Elton John fan.
Feeling like you know him so much better, and I don't
Really,
think
really like
you
that.
never felt connected to Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody in the same way. I don't think he wasn't such a person as Elton John was in his film,
Yeah.
and he had such flaws, and they were all yeah. I just and also Taron Egerton absolutely blew
was
the house
fucking
down.
brilliant.
He really couldn't. It
So,
couldn't
so
have been done any better.
I said to you as well after we watched that movie, the major thing that I came out of thinking was fair play to the wardrobe. Like,
Wardrobe.
give them
Nailed
a
it.
fucking round of applause.
Yeah.
Like some of the outfits they had to do, and they've got them absolutely fucking spot on. Fair play. Like, really, really well done. Really like that.
But Rocket Man just had levels to it. It had more emotion. There was this fantastic scene where Elton John comes out to play his first ever show in America, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And there's this real sort of like anticipation in the crowd. He has an argument with his songwriting buddy, Bernie Taupin, and suddenly he comes out with is it Crocodile Rock? I think he starts with Crocodile Rock, and there's just this tension
Yeah.
with just him having the confidence to play the piano, sing slightly, and then suddenly everybody come in and the house just blows down and then it's flying.
Yeah.
I thought they also explored his drug use and his
Yeah.
depression and what it was actually like to be a rock star, rather than with Freddie, where they kind of
Skated around
they
it.
could have gone a lot more sort of
Darker.
yeah, and like just let you into what actually was happening a bit more.
I think that's quite good, and I think that says a lot about Elton John as a person, that he's happy because he's
Agreed.
still alive.
Yeah,
He's happy for them to portray what his life was actually like.
the sad thing is,
Which I like that. I like that he has said to them, because he would have had to say to them,
yes,
yeah,
he would have.
that's
yeah.
fine.
But
That's okay.
he's that sort of, but you can tell. That he
Yeah,
would
but
just
yeah,
be
but
like,
I'm just
whatever.
saying, too many times,
Yeah.
you know, rock stars and people in that kind of vein.
Don't paint me in a bad light.
Yeah,
Tom
don't-
Cruise over
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Don't paint me in a bad light. You know.
I can't
Oh,
believe that's
can we put
the-
that in the movie? Oh, you probably not. Probably shouldn't.
Oh, you don't look like a badass though, Tom.
Yeah.
I'm still getting over that. Anyway, I thought with that, I thought that there was so much they did well, but at the same time with Bohemian Rhapsody, it just missed a beat. It just completely missed a beat,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that's on your list, definitely.
Okay, so you hadn't heard of Fighting with My Family. You want me to discuss?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so you're not going to know any of the names I'm going to throw at you, bar one. So the movie is about a small family up north in England,
Yeah.
and they're a wrestling family. By that I mean that the mum and the dad have their own like wrestling promotion up north,
Okay.
and they basically used to be wrestlers. Now they have their own wrestling promotion. They get all these people in to do wrestling shows and stuff like that. They go around England doing these shows.
Okay.
And then when they have kids, their kids obviously come into the business,
Yeah.
and they want to start training to become wrestlers, just like their parents were.
Right.
And it's about this one girl and one boy,
Yeah.
and they try out to go for the biggest wrestling company in the world, WWE.
Yeah.
And it's true life story
Okay.
about this one girl coming from this small town in England.
This actually happened.
Actually happened. This one girl come from this small town in England
Yeah.
to becoming one of the like most well paid female wrestlers
Wow.
in the company. Just really, really good.
This resonated with you because you like WWE as well.
yeah. Obviously, so it resonated with me because I like wrestling, but also it's a good movie. Stephen Merchant
What?
directs it.
Oh, thank God. Okay, that's awesome.
He directs it. He also stars in it. He's only
As a wrestler.
No, it's a cameo. It's a cameo appearance.
Right, okay.
But his cameo appearance is quite funny. He
Awesome.
basically plays a friend of the family
Yeah.
that comes over for dinner, and he's really, really well reserved.
Okay.
And this whole crazy family are going mental because she's just found out that she's got a WWE tryout or a WWE contract or something.
Right.
So all the families go mental, and he's just sat there all reserved.
I can so imagine.
Okay. And then they do a later on scene in the movie where he's like losing his mind. Yeah, he's in it. Nick Frost's in it.
Oh,
Nick
nice.
Frost plays the dad.
Okay.
And there's also a couple of cameos from wrestlers, obviously, because they had to.
They should do, yeah.
And The Rock is in it.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know how they managed that. That's like you wouldn't have expected.
I think he was a producer.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But yeah, so it's honestly like wrestling movies are usually crap. Well, actually, that's a lie because there's been quite a few good wrestling movies. Did you ever watch The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke?
Yeah, I did like that one.
Really good movie.
Quite gritty that one.
But yeah, so this movie, obviously, whether most of it is true to life is anyone's guess. But it's quite a good story, and it's interesting to see how how this girl comes from pretty much nothing in a small family in England to becoming a star in this massive company.
Awesome. And is it a British film? Does it feel like?
Yeah.
Oh wow! Okay.
Really feels like it feels like an English movie.
Awesome.
But yeah, went to go to the cinema to see it. Screen wasn't that full, obviously, because no one really cares about wrestling these days. But there's a couple of things that I was so happy to see on the big screen. They do like a little what is it? So the whole reason that Stephen Merchant's character comes over is because I think it's his daughter's going out with the son, or maybe his son's going out with the daughter. I'm not sure. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
But they come over and then they start talking about wrestling, and the mum and the dad of the other half are like, "Oh, when we don't really know too much about that."
Yeah.
And it's like, right, well, and then they do this massive montage of think who's the first three wrestlers you could think of in your mind.
Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Yeah.
The Rock, and fuck knows, I don't know.
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, I was thinking, Hulk Hogan.
Okay, so they pretty much do this little montage.
Yeah.
And they show you all your favourites from
best
back in the
bits.
day.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, The Rock, The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kane.
Yeah.
They do this whole little, it's really mini montage.
Yeah.
But just to see that on the big screen, it's really, really cool.
I bet you loved it. And
Yeah, I really, really loved it.
It's for the wrestling fans.
It's for wrestling fans, but also even if you weren't a fan of wrestling, this was why I really, really loved it. Even if you're not a fan of wrestling, you could watch that movie and you can just appreciate the story because there is good story there to be told.
Good.
And yeah, they end it in a really, really good way, and I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
Awesome. Okay, I'll give that a watch.
Also, Vince Vaughn's in it. I don't know whether that will.
I quite like Vince Vaughn.
Good, honestly, it's really, really good
He had
cast.
a great little cameo in Into the Wild, which is one of my favourite films.
Yeah.
Hearing you say this, can I just say that there's one that is making me realise I want to add to the disappointments list.
Go.
Yesterday, which was about the Beatles.
Yeah, that's a big thing for you as well. So, if you don't know, guys, Stan loves the Beatles.
I love the Beatles.
Bums the Beatles.
Yeah, I go on about them all the
He's
time.
a Beatle bummer.
Okay, yeah, we don't call them that, but we'll just say a Beatles fan. That would be all right. And I was disappointed by this film. It had a massive hype about how I think any Beatles fan out there would know that this film was coming out.
Yeah.
It featured all of the songs you want to be in there anyway.
I thought of you as soon as I saw it advertised.
Exactly, like, yeah, I got tagged in this one a few times because it should have been kind of introducing the Beatles to so many people, but also being there for the fans. But the premise was that you would have a regular guy who's kind of struggling getting booked with gigs, struggling musician, trying to write his own songs, they're not going too well. He's got his incredibly attractive girlfriend who is, I was going to say Felicity Jones then. I need to look this up, but she's unbelievable in it. Like, really, really, really. Oh, Daisy in Baby Driver. Do you remember who I mean? Not Daisy, Deborah. Look like a zebra.
Deborah, look like a zebra. Yeah.
She's in this film.
Baby.
Baby? Your name's Baby?
Your name's Baby. What kind of name's Baby?
You're the luckiest person there is.
You
Every
got
song.
so many songs about you. So many songs called Baby.
She's good in this. You do kind of think the whole time, you're like, I don't understand. She's supposed to be in love with this struggling musician,
And you're like,
it
if
doesn't
only.
really make any sense. She's kind of following him around on small tours. He's trying to get booked at festivals, and there's a couple of sad scenes where he's singing to no one in a small tent at Glastonbury, and she's the only one clearing up after him, and etc. And he's moping. Why isn't it working? And then, out of nowhere, this is the thing with this film.
Do they do like a Freaky Friday type thing?
Yeah, there's a moment. There's a moment.
God.
So what happens is the power cuts out.
Yeah.
And then he gets hit by a bus in the middle of this power cut. And I don't know why, but because of this, within that 5 minutes where everybody in the world lost power, he's the only one that can remember the Beatles. You think, they try and explain this weirdly, because the first thing he goes and Googles why he can't find the Beatles, or people aren't seeming to get his references. That's what the first thing that
Doesn't
happens.
he? Doesn't
He talks to his
I
friends.
think I've seen a little clip in a trailer that he googles it and it just comes up on Wikipedia with
Actual
a
Beatles.
A Beatle.
Yeah, yeah. And then he looks at Rolling Stones and sees they're still a thing. He notices Oasis aren't a thing, which says even though the Beatles inspired them, that means that they wouldn't have been a thing. And I was kind of thinking, okay, where are they going to take that? And there was a few things where they're adding to this and trying to have fun with the idea of things. Some things have been forgotten. So after a while, you realise Coca-Cola isn't a thing, and then cigarettes aren't the thing right towards the end. But they never explain anything that's happened. There's no like, this is the science of it. I guess you wouldn't want to hear that.
You heard it here first. The Beatles invented cigarettes and Coca-Cola.
Yep. Now you know. They also I'm going to flat out spoil this one. Is that okay?
Yeah, fine.
They bring John Lennon into it. Actual John Lennon, but like played by an actor really poorly with a shit Liverpool accent. Right towards the end, as a sort of, this is okay. I can understand why this is a thing. And he's just living a quiet life. Do you know, it just threw me off. I was kind of thinking, why would you do that? Why would you make that, like, have that hanging on? So he's still alive and he's just jamming with maybe the Beatles, like Paul, but in like pubs, and they just do it for fun. Like they just never got the success they did. And you're thinking, huh? What? Why? Why did this happen then? Why did that power cut lead to this? There's a lot of unexplained stuff. It's mainly a love story. It was Richard Curtis who does all those like About Time, Love Actually.
Does it ever go back to normal then, or
it never goes back to normal?
So he's just
Turns out there's a couple other people in the world that know the Beatles, and they find him, and you think they're going to be like, how dare you play their songs, and they just say, we're really glad you're playing their songs. We love the Beatles. This is a good thing. After tracking him down around the world, so now he's a global star, and there's a really nice. What I do like about this film is that Ed Sheeran's in it as kind of like someone who's been wrapped up in the music industry, and the music industry are definitely bad guys in this.
Yeah.
They are definitely not hanging about by saying, like, did you see that there's also that clip in the trailer where he says, how about, hey, dude?
Yeah.
And then he goes, dude, and that's quite funny. There's some good bit. Ed Sheeran is actually, it turns out to be quite a good actor.
Really?
But there's a lot of kind of like what they would have done with the Beatles had they not been around then and been around today and marketed them. And I quite liked that. There's these kind of horrible scenes of like him stood there having to see, I think he goes into the marketing meeting of the year of marketing or something crazy. And there's just all these suits just telling him exactly what they're going to do, how the album cover's going to look, where he's going to be playing. And it's all sorted for him, and he has absolutely no say. It's just a cog in the system. And yeah, it's all in all, he then finally gets the girl, which he lost because he lost sight of the purpose of being a musician,
But
because
he had
he's
her
famous.
anyway.
But he never. No, okay, so they weren't together back then. She just really fancied him, and he couldn't see it. That's the thing. You don't believe that would be a thing. the fact that she's just going to follow him around forever and just be like besotted, and then he finally says, "I'm so sorry. What have I done?" at a gig, as you can imagine, the big like in front of everyone, and then he gets with her at the end.
I kind of don't want to watch this.
How like there was such potential there, and I do love the fact that Richard Curtis is the main reason he said he made this film was to introduce people to the Beatles and to appreciate that music and how great it is.
It's
But
good that they're
he's done
trying, but they've done it in a poor way.
they've done it in the wrong way.
No, I got you.
So that's on my list.
Okay, so if we're gonna carry on talking about good movies,
Sorry for the bummer.
no, that's all right, man. So Knives Out, Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Doctor Sleep, Far From Home, Brightburn.
I'm interested by Brightburn, but let's just say again, Spider-Man. I'm a little. I guess I could have done without it.
You're a bit worn out by them.
I'm a bit worn out by them,
Yeah.
and I think Spider-Man isn't enough to keep me entertained now. I think we've all had so many films now similar to this, and I think I went to see all of the other Spider-Man films. It just wasn't enough to keep me.
After Endgame finished. Oh, excuse me. After Endgame finished, I wasn't that fussed about going to see anymore.
Yeah.
And then I went into Spider-Man with kind of reservations and I'm just going to go see this because it's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I love Spider-Man. He was always my favourite comic book character. And it was just going to see it because I want to see Spider-Man.
And you still think that with this recent...
And I went and watched it, and halfway through I was like, it's actually really, really good.
That's the moment on the...
I had no reservations about it.
Yeah.
And I just went in thinking, I'm just going to go watch this.
Yeah.
Halfway through thinking, this is really good. And then Jake Gyllenhaal's brilliant in it. Tom Holland's really good in it.
Yeah.
And then, the ending for me was just awesome. And the post-credit scenes are fucking immense.
There's a great thing with the Iron Man mask, wasn't there? I remember we were talking about. Like it's harkening back to the Avengers bit, and it's very dark, but in not too much of a like in your face way. Do you know what I mean? They had the Iron Man mask, which was kind of, I think he was envisioning that, and it was making him scared. The fact that he let everyone down.
Yeah. So he's like, he wants to be the hero, but at the same time
he's got shoes to fill.
Yeah, he knows he's got shoes to fill, but he doesn't feel like he can.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the main crux of the story.
Yeah.
Which you can kind of understand, I guess.
Yeah, and I liked that, and maybe even if they put a little bit more into that kind of Spider-Man trying to find his feet, I'm glad they did do that. But I just felt like there was a lot of sort of CGI fighting that maybe it just is lost on me by now. A little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely get that. I'm just literally basing this off of the two main characters in the movie.
And a fantastic ending.
And the ending, if you haven't fucking seen it, more for you. You're a retard.
Yeah, I agree.
So J.K. Simmons is back in the fucking fold.
Hell yeah!
So they kind of bring him in as like an Alex Jones truth teller style person, which is just fucking brilliant.
Such a good idea.
So they've taken that J. Jonah Jameson concept and made it 21st century.
Yeah.
You know, no longer is he a newspaper guy. He's like an internet news guy, which is fucking awesome. Love that.
Yes.
And they've kind of taken that a little bit from the game as well. So the Spider-Man game that came out, Jonah was basically doing like scoops and news updates on podcasts.
Oh, okay.
So they've kind of fused that a bit with the game.
That's cool.
And then the other ending they had on there was that Mysterio was recording the whole time when Spider-Man kills him, which I just did speech marks for because you don't actually know whether Mysterio is dead.
Oh, yeah.
So Mysterio in the comics is always this villain that you never know what's real and what's fake.
Yes.
Which I thought they did fucking brilliantly.
They did that well. Okay, that's a very good point.
Those scenes.
Very good point.
When Spider-Man's going for him.
Yeah.
And I love that. That scene in the...
Because that's hard to do, let's be honest. Very hard.
Really hard to do, but they did
Yeah.
that fucking brilliantly.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well handled again.
And yeah, so the end bit, so Mysterio's recording the whole time, and he kind of clips it and edits it so that it looks like Spider-Man's done all these bad things. He's going to kill Mysterio because Mysterio is the good guy, and then reveals that Spider-Man is, and then they stop it for a little bit just to keep you going.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like, it's Peter Parker, and then like literally they show a picture, and you'll just
Like, wait, what?
I honestly left the cinema gobsmacked, and I was like, that's fucking brilliant.
Yes.
Like, and it's exactly what you need after Endgame. So Endgame's passed. You're not really fancying another Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Spider-Man comes out a month later. You go and watch it anyway.
Yeah.
And you come out of Spider-Man thinking like, oh Jesus, give me another Marvel movie now. That's honestly how I felt. That's honestly
You've
how
got
I
a
felt.
very good point there, and yeah, now I think about it, they did that very, very well, and I was gobsmacked because that's something that's never happened with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
That's something,
yeah, they haven't.
even for our generation, we can be like,
They haven't touched upon that yet, and there's so many different avenues they can go with the story.
Yes.
So I'm quite excited to see what they do with it. Obviously, they'll probably fuck it up, but let's see what happens.
Let's see. Yes.
So what else was on there?
So Brightburn.
Brightburn. So
Tell me about that.
I only watched this once. I can't really remember the story that well because I saw it quite a while ago, but it was really fucking good. And it was one of those ones where you just go see it just because. But it was a really, really good movie. So it's basically premise is baby comes down from Earth.
Outer space.
Oh yeah, from outer space into Earth, obviously. And this couple raise it as their own. They know that it's not theirs. They know that it's from outer space, but they kind of keep it quiet, and they try and hide it from this kid.
Yeah.
He's growing up. He starts to develop powers, and it's just what happens if he knows that he is, if everyone on Earth is inferior to him, and so he grows up to become this. Well, he doesn't even grow up really. He's still a fucking kid in the movie, but he starts to grow up knowing that everyone's inferior to him, and he is the fucking king fucking pin.
How it could have turned out.
How it could have turned. And this was really interesting premise to me because when I was in Australia,
It's the sort of film you don't expect to get made.
Yeah. When I was in Australia, I went to a comic book shop, and I remember chatting to this guy that owned the comic book store. Obviously, if you want to know anything about comics, you're going to ask the fucking dude that works there. And obviously, this guy owned the shop. I said to him, I was like, dude, I want something to read. I don't know what to go for. He was like, do you want Marvel? Do you want DC? Do you want something different? I was like, well, I quite like the Batman DC, quite like the Spider-Man Marvel. You know, I don't really know what else to read. He was like, what about Superman? Don't really like Superman. He's a bit too clean cut for me.
Right.
And he said, well, have you looked at this? And there's one Superman story where it's basically what would happen if Superman came to Earth, but he was evil.
So it was a comic book by DC.
Yeah, but it's. I don't want to say that Brightburn's sort of stealing that idea because it's a different concept.
Right. Okay.
But in
Same
one of the
vein,
comic book, in one of the comic book things, Superman is like, what would happen if Superman was evil?
Okay, yeah.
Which is really cool, and I love that idea. And so when I heard that this story was coming out, I was like, well, I've got to go and see this.
You
This
would
is brilliant.
not expect it
And
to get made.
they turn it dark, mate.
Awesome.
Really fucking dark.
Nice. That's what you want.
And this kid has like fucking sack over his face, like it's fucked. Honestly.
Wow.
But it's really fucking good. I'd definitely say give it a watch.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised. I think when I saw the trailer, and I definitely think there was mixed reactions in the audience. I could see so many people thinking that could be awful.
Yeah.
There's definitely potential for this to flop hard. This could have been on your other list.
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay.
But I think it's one of them. They wouldn't have spent that much money on it. No one really knows too much about it. So even if it was shit, no one really would have cared.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly...
They took a gamble with something quite original.
really recommend that movie.
There we go. Another original. I think...
So we've got Doctor Sleep, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Joker, Knives Out. Let's just give it...
We've talked through them.
Yeah, we've pretty much talked about Knives Out.
Gone through all the others last week.
Yeah, we spoke about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. If you haven't heard last week's episode and you want to
go back and watch it, and you'll find out all of these.
Yes.
This has been a super extended edition.
This has been a long New Year's edition because
Well,
I think I'm going on holiday next
Yeah,
week.
I don't think we're going to be doing this for a couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
we needed to
I
kind
think
of.
maybe what I'll do is split this out and we'll give you double episode.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's lovely.
Ooh.
Lovely for the listeners.
Lucky you guys.
Okay,
I
well-
was going to talk a bit about Mac Miller, but I think I'll save that for next week or next time. Anyway.
Yeah, next time.
Um,
Anything else you want to discuss before we wrap?
I'm very content with what we have discussed. I'll let you know if I think of anything. But yeah, we talked about my big flops, Bohemian Rhapsody, and yesterday, and we shall see how Star Wars turns out. Not really
You're
holding my
really
breath.
not fucking hopeful for that, are
I'm
you?
really not. I'm really not.
Are you super done with them?
I was actually saying that there was a couple of amazing scenes in the last one, but there was also some seriously naff stuff in it.
I really didn't like the last one. I
Oh,
thought
the
it was
last
crap.
one was all over the place. So let's see if they can fix it. They still could pull it out of the park.
Put the ball out of the park
Yes.
or pull it out of the bag. Which one would you like to go for?
I guess we'll go with pull it out the park. All right, dudes. Yeah.
Okay, well this
Catch you in the new year.
has been sweet. Thanks for listening, guys, and this has been Colour Me Intrigued.